Alrighty, so first up on our list we have American Fugitive. American Fugitive is a top-down sandbox adventure game in the vein of GTA, GTA 2, and GTA London. What I love about this game is it takes place down south, a place that I really love, just a really beautiful part of our country. And, just takes me back to my trip down south, except it's freaking ridiculous. At every turn, every mission, you will meet some zany characters here. So basically the story revolves around Will, and Will is framed with his father's death. So, he's a convict on the run. Yup, an American fugitive, respectively so. And what does he do to get out of this sticky mess? Well, obviously, he commits more crimes. So you'll be met with a bunch of crazy missions, a bunch of unique vehicles. Now, the one thing I did not like about this game was the music. The story was ridiculous, zany, and just action-packed with twists and turns at every corner. But the music, it was just a bunch of free use music for whatever reason, and I could tell because I'd heard this free use music on YouTube, and I'm like, dang man, what a beautiful game with a bunch of cool environments. It's a shame that the music is not a unique soundtrack, but other than that, the game has a ton of variety when it comes to missions, a lot of really cool vehicles, and yeah, it's just a must-play title, and you can get it for $2 on the eShop, so why not? Alright guys, so imagine Metroidvania meets Dig Dug meets arcade shooter. That's what you have here with this unique title called Downwell. Now, Downwell is one of those addictive, just frantic, classic arcade style games from Devolver Digital. They're known for their stuff. They're known for always creating these unique titles with really interesting, refreshing, yet very retro feeling gameplay loops. And Downwell is one of those games. It's always been a $5 game, just one of those pick up and play games. You could be playing this game for 10 minutes on a break at work, and you could see those 10 minutes slip into an hour or two in your free time. It's one of those games that, yes, it's very pick up and play, yes, it's very simple, very one-dimensional, but the beauty of Downwell is it's just so rich in the sense that you always just want to play another turn, you always want to get your next high score. And that's the beauty of it, and that's why I love this game so much. Hate to see people not talking about it. Gosh, play it! Next up on our list is Advance Wars 1 and 2 Remastered. Before Advance Wars 1 and 2 Remastered was a thing on the Switch, this is the game that got me through that long wait period. And, although this game is obviously trying to be a true spiritual successor to the Advance Wars series, it definitely isn't. It isn't perfected and just absolutely 100% like the original Advance Wars games were, Famicom Wars, whatever you know it as. The beauty of Advance Wars is it was a perfect turn-based strategy game, whereas this was more of an indie project that, tried to be something it was not. But it was faithful enough to the Advance Wars formula in the sense that the character design, the graphics, and various gameplay elements really just took me back to that wonderful game on the Game Boy Advance. Took me back to even the spin-off, the 3D spin-off that was on the GameCube. It took me back to a better place in time in my life, and took me back to my favorite strategy franchise. So, in a way, yeah, it was a good spiritual successor in the sense that it was distracting me from the reality that we did not have a Advance Wars game on the Switch at the time. And that's why I hate the fact that so many people seem to always toss this game under the rug. It's a charming strategy game done in that Advance Wars style that I love so dearly. And unfortunately, people just seem to hate on it because it's not Advance Wars. It will never be Advance Wars, but Tiny Metal has a special place in my heart for being that spiritual successor that filled the gap. And I'd even recommend playing it now, because if you have played Advance Wars 1 and 2, if you've already gotten through the remasters, why not get into this franchise? There are 2 games in this franchise. I've played the first one, and it's usually on sale for $6 on the eShop. And for $6, I mean, you can't beat it. You really can't, because it's an Advance Wars-esque game for $6. And it works beautifully. The music is fun. The characters are fun. The storyline is interesting. I fucking love it. So next up on our list, we have Shakedown Hawaii from V-Blank Entertainment, the same fine folks that brought us Retro City Rampage and Retro City Rampage DX. Now this game, compared to its predecessor, is better and bigger in every way. So essentially, you're a retired billionaire living on the beautiful island of Hawaii. And what you do in this game is essentially you see your corporate empire crumbling. So what you do is you get retribution. You take over the island once more through a bunch of ridiculous capitalistic antics. So essentially what this game does better than Retro City Rampage DX is it gives you far more customization than that game had. You know, Retro City Rampage DX is one of the best indie titles out there, but this game literally allows you to take over the entire island, to buy various assets, and, you know, to feel like you have this sense of interactivity with the world. So essentially what you're doing is you're taking part in just dozens of zany, phenomenal retro-style 16-bit missions while simultaneously collecting funds to build your evil business empire. Super fun, just a super gorgeous game, really colorful graphics, and a story that I loved from beginning to end. It's so zany, so comedic, just some great humor in here, and just the addition of so much new stuff to an already perfect formula. This is the perfect sequel to Retro City Rampage, but is overshadowed by that game, unfortunately. And it really breaks my heart because it's better than that game in every way. It's exactly what a game sequel should be, making it a must-play for any platform you can get it on. Alright guys, we're going to be wrapping up this episode with the 16-bit era inspired action platformer Huntdown. So in Huntdown, it takes place in a dystopian cyberpunk aesthetic future where citizens call the authorities when they get in trouble, and when the authorities get in trouble, they call you guys, the bounty hunters. So you get to pick from 3 bounty hunters in this game, all with their own unique controls, their own unique combos, and their own unique weapons and mechanics. So you can play this game as 3 different bounty hunters, so you can just pick and choose between them, and it'll throw you in a variety of just gorgeous settings with the details at every corner. You know, you can really tell that this game has so much love put into the pixel art. It has so much love put into every minuscule aspect, and you can really see how they got inspiration from films such as Blade Runner, Ghost in the Shell, and Akira. I mean, the cyberpunk aesthetic is executed so perfectly, and the gameplay is challenging the way a 16-bit retro-inspired platformer should be. You know, this game is always on sale because I'm assuming it didn't get the sales quotas that they were expecting to meet. But a lot of people have discovered this title and have realized that it's one of the best side-scrolling platformers out there. You know, Huntdown is just one of those gems that once you play it, you'll never forget it. It blends the perfect combination of old and new gameplay elements. Yes, it's very retro-inspired, and yes, it's very modern as well. You know, this game just handles so smoothly. The gameplay is so perfect and so well balanced, and yet so punishing, like those titles from the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis era. Huntdown is a must-play, and although it can be difficult at times, it is worth the challenge, and you will be satisfied from beginning to end. Not only is this game difficult like a retro game should be, but it's also very rewarding, making it a must-play. Alrighty guys, well that about wraps up this episode of LA Tech Trends presentation on various Nintendo Switch indie hidden gems. I hope you enjoyed this list. If there are any indie game suggestions, let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely make sure to check them out. I'm currently playing the Assassin's Creed Ezio collection, and I'm about to get into this strategy game called Pixel Junk Monsters 2, which is another indie title on the Switch. So if you'd like to see reviews on those particular titles, let me know in the comments below alongside your suggestions. Make sure to like this video, dislike this video, leave your feedback, and be honest about it. I appreciate all feedback because all publicity is good publicity. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching LA Tech Trends. I love you very much. Have a good one. Peace.